Manitoba is a multimedia initiative highlighting energy-efficient technologies for Manitoba's diverse communities, including newcomers and refugees. By addressing barriers such as availability and awareness, it aims to educate and expand the market for these technologies. My name is Ryan Funk. Join me as we explore efficient technologies and programs here in Manitoba with Greentoba.
Hey, my name is Charity. I'm the executive assistant at Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal. My role was the energy efficiency advocate when our partnership first started, but that is now Brittany.
My role, hi. So my name is Brittany Guarino, she, her. That's my pronouns. And I am now the new energy efficiency advocate for Efficiency Manitoba at the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation.
Maybe let's start right there.
Okay.
What is an energy efficiency advocate? What sort of things are you doing within your role?
A primary thing for an energy efficiency advocate is to go out into our community and to advocate for those that don't have access readily to those retrofits that would make their houses significantly warmer. Per se, like for example, like getting retrofits for insulation, LED light bulbs, shower heads, etc. Or say you're a renter, for example, and you want your landlord to be on the same page as you to get those retrofits, and they might not even know about it. So you're kind of branching over and reaching out to their landlords perhaps and getting that connection going. Or even their landlords are reaching out to us and they're getting the renters that lower hydro bill.
For me, at Chalmers and having someone who's letting people know about these different options and programming and things that are available, why is that important for your community?
Chalmers is typically, it's often seen as a settlement area. We're a low-income neighborhood, which makes it affordable for renters. It makes it affordable for first-time home buyers. But the neighborhood, unfortunately, also has a large older housing stock. So in a neighborhood where you have both low-income homeowners, renters, combined with older housing stock, we're really seeing the maximum benefits of having the insulation that the houses need and having the furnaces upgraded to the highest efficiency possible. So the houses then, they're getting the maximum benefit so that they're having the biggest energy efficiency rewards, as well as then they're saving on their hydro bills. So the house is more energy efficient. The bills are lower. Our community members are able to pay their bills better than they would have been without these upgrades. So I really feel like our neighborhood is the best place for this program to be. And there's other neighborhoods throughout the city. Like this program started in the North End, who has a very similar demographic and housing stock that we have. And they saw that Chalmers was very similar to the North End. So that's why they approached us and asked for this partnership to happen over in Chalmers. So yeah, it's really important for the houses and for the neighborhood.
What do those conversations look like when someone is coming by Chalmers and they're talking about, maybe my windows aren't great or my house, or like, things are difficult. Okay. In your role, how do you start and initiate those conversations?
So we kind of open it up a little bit and say, hey, so kind of what's going on with that house? Like, where are you actually feeling cold in your house, first of all, right? And so we kind of break it down. We figure out, okay, maybe it's your insulation, maybe it's a repair that you need on your house, or maybe it's just like a funding issue, right? We say, okay, you might need to do an application for energy efficiency, or we might refer to our repair home grants, which is something that Charity can actually expand on.
We've had certain situations where someone needed insulation in their roof. Their heat was obviously escaping through the roof, but they needed the roof repaired. They weren't able to get the insulation done. So we were able to say, hey, actually, we have an emergency home repair grant. The people were able to apply to the home repair grant, get their roof fixed, and then get the insulation that was needed. So to be able to partner our programs along with Efficiency Manitoba's program was a huge help. And it's great to be able to offer wraparound services like that.
So then afterwards, if it's not the home repair grant, we might be referring to other like programs that are outside of our scope, for example, and that might be relevant for our housing team to recommend those things. So they have a little bit more resources and knowledge on those types of home repair grants and whatnot. But if they're wanting an application, they can come by to me and I can get them set up with that. So that's just kind of running them through the application process, what it looks like, the breakdown of how long it might take, and just if it's feasible in person, if they want to fill out that application in person. So just at their home, pen, paper, or if they'd like to do it online, of course. So we do have an application form that people can pick up at our office. I get that package all set up for them. And that has a free postage that's included with it, and we're throwing in an LED light bulb and a tote bag, so they have something to go home with. And so, they get that application, they bring it home, they're filling it out. Something that's important to note, that it's all income qualifying, so they don't have to put down their income at all, because with our partnership with Efficiency Manitoba, everybody in Chalmers has been exempted from providing their income, because we want to make it accessible for everyone, right? Once they're done with their application, they're going to put it through with the mail. And then that gets sent over to Efficiency Manitoba. They review it. And if they're eligible and their application has been approved, and that takes somewhere from, 2 weeks to a month. It can vary depending on how many applications they're getting through, et cetera, the time of the year. They'll get that call from Efficiency Manitoba, and they're going to schedule that free home energy checkup. And then once they get that all set up, afterwards, they're going to pop over to their house, and then they're just going to essentially check out their insulation, look at the R value of their interior walls, and then afterwards, they're going to check out their furnace and see if it's relevant to be upgraded from, it could be either from a standard or mid-efficiency furnace to a high-efficiency furnace. And then they'll be providing any other extra retrofits like LED light bulbs, shower heads, etc. But if they would like to go through with everything and everything's all okay and they're eligible, they'll be provided a list of contractors, and they, on their own time, can go through all their contractors and whichever they deem to be the best for them. They'll go with them, they'll contact Efficiency Manitoba, and they'll get that whole process set up.
You mentioned their R value. For people who are hearing this for the first time, like, what the heck is an R value? What does that mean for my home?
The R value is they do a reading based on how well the insulation is keeping the heat inside or outside the home. So for Efficiency Manitoba, they say the R value on your exterior walls needs to be 50. So if your R value is less than 50, if the reading shows that it's not keeping the heat inside the home at that value, then you would be eligible to get upgraded to 50. So they will not replace insulation, but if you have some sort of existing something, they will add up to so that you have your R value of 50, so that your rating is keeping the home at the level of 50, which is keeping the heat inside the home.
So it's an equation to understand how efficient heat is staying within your home.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you for putting that
Very
clearly.
cool.
Yeah.
What sort of stories and things are both of you hearing from people? How is this affecting people's lives? As you're mentioning, accessibility is so important in terms of sustainability and efficiency.
There was 2 stories from my first summer canvassing. The first one, I was out canvassing, and there was a gentleman who was clearly working on his house, and I said, "Hey, good afternoon. Do you have a minute to talk about energy efficiency? I have some upgrades I could offer to you." And he said, "No, not right now. I'm busy. I'm working on my roof." And I said, "Oh, are you?" He said, "Yeah, whatever, this is going on." And I said, "Actually, I can offer you free insulation for your roof, or I can refer you to this program where you could possibly get free insulation." And he was first brushing me off, and then as I was talking, he realized, and he was like, "Oh, actually," I said, "Yes, this is a program. This is actually why I'm here, is to be able to offer you upgrades that are necessary for your home." And then as we started talking, he was thrilled because he needed insulation for his roof as he was fixing it, and he wasn't sure how he was going to work on it. He was stressed about it, and so to be able to meet him right in his need was very cool. And so he was thrilled to be able to access the program. And very similarly, there was another woman. I was going up to her house, and I said, we can offer, free insulation. Oh, no, I don't need insulation. I said, well, we have heavily subsidized furnaces if you have an older furnace. And she said, are you serious? My old furnace just died. And I had no idea how I was going to replace it. And I said, yes, if it is a standard or mid-efficiency furnace, we can upgrade you to a high efficiency for very low cost. And this was like a miracle to her. She was at her wit's end. She didn't know how she was going to replace her furnace. And so to be able to happen to meet her in her time of need and just offer her this incredible resource, she was so thankful. For some people, they have what they need and it's not that dramatic, but for some people it really is. It's miraculous to them to be able to get these resources that they need in their homes. So those were two incredible stories that have stayed with me that show that this program really is very effective.
My experience has been a little different. Like, we have positive success stories as well. Just on the outside, sometimes you're walking down a block and you have a list that you're given of all the houses that, haven't gone through the process yet. And you look at the list and you're like, hey, half of these houses in this one little block have seemed to all do it. So that you're doing something for sure. You're like, you've definitely been successful on this street. Neighbors have definitely been talking with each other here. When I was canvassing one time, there was an instance where we knocked on someone's house and they opened it up. We're like, hey, I recognize you. And she's like, we actually had it done to our place. And, that was great for them because they were just talking to us about how great the program has been for them and that it has worked miracles for them. And I had another lady, too, who was telling me that her daughter actually went through the same program, too. And so it was like a family thing. We're not just helping one person, we're helping multiple houses. So it's nice to hear that it's extending beyond just one house. You're doing multiple at the same time in a way.
As we're talking about going door to door and meeting people at their homes, some people are very tech savvy. Some people are online. They know the websites. They follow places. But other people either aren't online much or they just are not aware of resources out there yet. So specifically newcomers, seniors, people who might not be aware of us yet, that's been a huge way to be able to connect with those people. I was able to meet with a senior who'd lived in the neighborhood 70 years and he didn't know who we were, and we were able to connect him with the program. I met with another newcomer family where the English, we had a hard time communicating, but we were able to connect them with the program as well. So going door to door, boots on the street is a great way to connect with people, to get those resources out to people who might not otherwise have found them.
Yeah, like I had a couple who spoke French primarily, and I was able to even assist them in French, which was amazing, right? Because I'm like, oh, I haven't ran into this yet, but it was awesome that I was able to explain everything in French and get them going with the application process.
We've seen successes within these houses and in these communities, but as you're mentioning there, there are some challenges and barriers. People finding that information, so door-to-door canvassing is so important. In your opinions, what are some other ways we can do to, what we're doing right now is one way of informing people, but what are some other actions for maybe not just for the Chalmers community, but for other energy advocates who are in that effort of increasing awareness, of letting people know about these programs? What do you think are ways we can do to improve awareness?
In December, our organization did a neighborhood mail out where we did a targeted precision mail out to over 6,000 addresses, where we just did a year in review of Chalmers and we listed most of our program, like all of our programs, energy efficiency being one of them. So we accessed a grant. We were able to print out all of these over 6,000 mini newsletters. We do a monthly newsletter as well, but these mini newsletters to give to the entire Chalmers Elmwood area to let them know of our programs and services that they otherwise wouldn't have known about. Like that's maybe a one-time a year thing that we do, but just literally getting paper in the hands of people was one way. Neighborhood events We have multiple events that we do. So being able to have our tables and our resources there, having someone from Efficiency Manitoba, we always invite them to our events, and they have someone there where we can we invite everyone to, our backyard. They come and we can say, this is what we have. And that's been a really great way to connect with the community as well. We're offering a free event. They get to attend. They get to have the fun and the games and the food. And then they also know about the resources that we offer.
Well, and it creates a sense of familiarity, right?
Yes.
With Efficiency Manitoba, that it's not just this faceless entity there. There are people there. There are people working that have the best interests of the community at heart.
We wear these bright green, trust us shirts when we go canvassing, but it really is a great way because people do think it's a scam. They say it's free, nothing's free. Where we're like, actually, yes, the insulation, if you're qualifying, it is totally free. We want to make Manitoba more energy efficient. We want to help you save on your bills. And so to put a face to it really is very helpful. If I could quickly share another story. I was just telling Brittany this morning that I can't remember if it's this summer or last, someone took a picture. We always leave a canvassing letter if we missed them face to face. We put it in their mailbox and it explains briefly about the program. I was here to talk to you. This is it. Someone posted it to one of our local neighborhood Facebook pages and they said, is this real? This seems like a scam. And people are commenting, no, actually I had it done. Yes, actually this is a real program. And it was like free advertisement. People were sharing it on their own. And it was a great way to get the word out of where had nothing to do with it. It was just the neighborhood sharing and people sharing their own experiences, which was a really cool thing to see.
Brittany, what do you think? What are some ways that we can increase awareness? And I mean, just there, talking about like physical media and physical items to hand out almost seems something foreign in the
digital age. Yeah.
Well, I would say like recently we had something called Saver Cleaner Chalmers, where it's a program, that we host like once a year, where we kind of have a sit down for 2 days. We have a bunch of different speakers come out and they talk about how to make our community like cleaner, safer, etc., just like the name. So there's one day for housing, and then I believe there's another day for just safety in our community. So we invited our colleague Justin to our housing one, and he was able to sit down and actually answer people's questions from the community who came out there, and they were talking about, hey, we have all these questions for you, and he was able to explain everything about Efficiency Manitoba. So I'd say if you're interested in making things more sustainable for yourself, it's going out there, it's posting like, hey, I just had all these questions and I was able to have Efficiency Manitoba answer them for me. So if you're interested in learning anything, it's inviting people out to go with you as a group, I think, and just spreading your own awareness of what you know.
And like Brittany mentioned, word of mouth, right? Like when you see a block that has half the block has done it, one neighbor tells another neighbor. That community piece is huge.
Yeah.
So you are both boots on the ground. You're hearing the stories from the community. You're seeing these houses and these families whose lives are changed. Based off the programs that are available, what is still needed out there in the community? Just what sort of programs or initiatives do you think would go a long way within supporting the Chalmers community?
Oh, boy.
I know, putting you on the spot a little bit.
Well, there's a lot. In February, we will have been doing our new housing support program for a year through End Homelessness. So our aim is to keep people in their homes rather than before they end up on the streets or in a shelter. And so just housing support, affordable housing is a huge thing. Support with landlords. That's a huge one. When I think of houses, windows are another big thing that Efficiency Manitoba will offer a $50 rebate, which doesn't go terribly far. So if we could get better rebates for windows, that's also a huge savings. Food is a great need in the neighborhood. These are two things we see daily in our center: affordable housing support, and need for food. So we have an emergency pantry, but it's strictly based off of donations. So sometimes we can offer more, sometimes we don't have much to offer. Yeah, those are some of the biggest needs we see.
We also have better access to groceries as well. It's another program that we have. We have lots of people in our community that, there's no closest grocery store. Like, you're looking at Freshco, which is like a gantry down Henderson Highway, like 30 minutes on foot. And then the other closest stuff is on Regent. So
Yeah, it's a food desert.
Yes.
it is a massive food desert. And we all know that prices in food have gone up an immense amount. So we have a set, like a bag. Like we have like multiple different bags. Your $5, you got your $10, and you got your $20 bag. And these are all, fresh produce, right? And so not only are we getting people food, at like lower cost, but we're getting them fresh food that will support their body
Yes.
and their mind and their wellness.
Yeah, we do bulk buying of fresh fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
and then so we buy in bulk from Sobeys Cash and Carry, so we can offer it at a lower cost. Every other Tuesday, people pay their $10, they get what they get. But yeah, that's another way. That's another way that we're aiming to help with the food crisis.
I think that's one thing that people may not realize around the conversation of sustainability and efficiency of providing the resources for lower income or vulnerable communities. Because if someone is struggling, they're not going to be thinking about sustainability. They're trying to survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as you're mentioning, keeping people off the streets, keeping people in their homes, it's also about like just cost effective. Like if someone is in their own home, they're thriving, they're a productive member of society in the means of they're working, they're buying, they're thinking about these things, they're having conversations. When people are in that survival method, you're spending resources just to keep them from dying on the streets, giving them food, having those opportunities where people can have a home, thrive, be successful. It helps out everything. Like it's a ground up approach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we also have our Elmwood Unity Walk, which is where we go out and we meet with the community and people who may be in that survival mode, staying at hotels or staying on the streets, right? And we can offer them tangible resources, coats, gloves, food, but then also our housing support. And we had one story of where we met a gentleman in a park and he now has an apartment because we met him there, we got him the housing support, and now he has his own place. Like success stories like that are so incredible. And I mean, I think he was staying at a hotel at the time, but we met him out on the streets. But yeah, like it's just, and it saves resources if you can keep people in their homes versus having to start once they're out of their home on the ground up. It takes so much more resources to get them back to where they should be. So if we can keep them where they are, mitigate that process, it's so helpful.
Yeah, both physical and emotional resources.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the toll it must take not just physically on oneself, but emotionally
For
to
sure.
end up in that situation to be like, well, now I have to rely on people. And that never feels good.
Oh, no. Yeah. And everybody wants to give back, right? Like all the people that we're helping, they want to give back. And we say, share the word, right? Like tell people, give us a testimonial so that we can like maintain the support that we have so we can get more people help. So yeah, but yeah, they do and they all say, I'm the one that helps people. And we say, yeah, which is amazing. So once you're on your feet, once you're stable, then you can help us keep helping people.
Some of the most impactful grassroots movements are the ones where people have gone through that lived experience or
Exactly.
have gone through those struggles and challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's relatable, right? And people trust someone that they can relate to, and it's...
I can add to that. I'm actually the Elmwood Unity Walk coordinator. So I actually coordinate those walks, and so I'm out there with a group of volunteers every week, and we're on the ground too. Yeah. A lot of my work is on the ground, actually. Yeah. I think most of it is. So I'm out there in the community like every week doing that. We met a gentleman in front of the LaSalle Hotel, and he was just outside. He was freezing. He didn't have any gloves, so we were able to give him some clothes. But the best part of meeting him was knowing that we were also helping others because he knew 2 other people inside the hotel who didn't have any food. They just got there. So we were able to connect them with Mama Way. And also to let them know about our warming center where we were giving out coffee and soup. So, we were trying to direct people to get back to our center to get warm, be somewhere where they know that they're getting gloves or, just that support or being in a warm place so they can think, survive.
Thank you for sharing these stories with us. I think it's so important for people to be aware of the efforts of community centers within, the numerous different communities here in Winnipeg. if someone's hearing this and interested, whether it's in wanting to support or learn more about Efficiency Manitoba's programs, where can they go? Where do they find that information?
Yeah, chalmersrenewal.org. We have a button for energy efficiency, so that'll take you to their page. You'll see Brittany's information there if you have questions about Efficiency Manitoba. If you're interested in helping, we have a Donate Now button through canadahelps.org, so you can donate through there. Chalmersrenewal.org or Chalmers Renewal on Facebook or Instagram. So you can see the programs that we're offering, meet the staff, and either get the resources that you need or keep supporting us.
And if you'd like to volunteer for Elmwood Unity Walk too and be a part of that as well, we're always looking for volunteers. So if you want to contribute back to, keeping Elmwood safer and cleaner as well, and just seeing what you can do in your own time, even if it's just, a wraparound thing where you're supporting the environment, but most importantly, you're supporting our community, right? And you're helping people get the resources that they need.
This project was developed in partnership with Efficiency Manitoba. Find out more from industry experts and community advocates at u-channel.ca/Greentoba.